Welcome to the Empowering Tomorrow's Automotive Software Podcast, brought to you by ETAS, a single source of cutting-edge software and hardware solutions that make automotive embedded systems safe, smart, secure, and sustainable. Each episode, we'll be joined by ETAS and industry experts to discuss how electrification, automation, and connectivity are impacting the automotive industry. Now, sit back and enjoy the discussion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Empowering Tomorrow's Automotive Software Podcast. My name is Elder Avila from ETAS, and I'm glad to be your host today. I'm currently responsible for sales and operations of ETAS in South America, and today we are going to talk about a very fascinating topic, a very interesting topic, which is very rapidly evolving, which is agriculture. Yeah? Agriculture is being transformed by connected machines, automation, and software-driven innovation. This is enabling new levels of efficiency, productivity, and sustainability. On one hand, innovation in agriculture is advancing like never before. On the other hand, cybersecurity challenges are evolving just as fast as well. Secure and resilient products are becoming essential not only to protect operations, but also to meet emerging regulations like the Cyber Resilience Act or simply CRA. In today's episode, we will explore how smart agriculture is evolving, why cybersecurity matters more than ever, and what organizations need to consider to stay secure, compliant, and competitive. And for today's discussion, I'm pleased to have Thiago Pereira here with us. Thiago is the head of software engineering for smart agriculture at Bosch in Brazil, where he leads teams developing automation, connectivity, and software solutions for the agriculture, not for Brazil local market only, but also for the global market. He has an extensive experience in embedded systems, software development, and agriculture technologies, and he's playing a key role in enabling the next generation of connected and intelligent agriculture. So, Thiago, thanks for being with us today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Great, Thiago. So, I would like to start with a broader perspective on agriculture. Yeah? Agriculture is often discussed in terms of economics and food production, and Brazil is recognized as one of the world's leading agriculture producers. In this context, what makes agriculture strategically important today? And coming already to its development, what lessons or innovations from Brazil could be relevant also to the broader global market from your point of view?
Well, we have a challenge now that the population is growing in the next years, and we expect that until 2050, the population will grow up to 25%. And this will require the food production worldwide to grow in approximately 45%. But the farming area cannot increase so fast as we have the increase in the food production. So basically, we need to extract more food in the same farming area. And this will only be possible if we increase productivity. So the challenge that we have in the next year is how can I increase the productivity in the farming activity without increasing further the land? And this will only be possible through the adoption of the new technologies. So Latin America is essential for this strategy because here in Latin America, we combine the availability of water. We have favorable weather for the farming activity. We have the geopolitical conditions and we have land availability in our continent. And there's something that differentiates Brazil and Latin America from other places because here we can do 2 to 3 crop seasons per year. This makes the development of new technologies for agriculture much faster than anywhere else in the world. And Brazil is a leader in the development of sustainable solutions for agriculture. So Brazil is now the 10th biggest economy in the world, and agriculture is responsible for 1/4 of our GDP. Just for a reference, from January to July this year, Brazil exported more than $100 billion in agricultural products, which represents 50% of the total country exports. We are now the biggest worldwide producer for soybeans, sugarcane, coffee, orange juice, and one of the biggest also for meat, corn, and cotton, being fundamental for assuring world food security. Bosch, here in Brazil, we are leading the development of connected and automated products for agriculture in an area called smart agriculture. And in smart agriculture, we develop technologies for several steps of the farming activity. Like in soil preparation, we have a solution for spreaders. In soil correction, we have a solution for fertilizers. For seeding, we have one of our mainstream products, which is called Intelligent Planting System. And for crop protection, we have smart spraying technologies. And connecting all these technologies, we have a digital platform, which is called Bosch Digital Agro, where we can monitor remotely the system and extract automated reports from the machines. So all these technologies are being developed here in Brazil, but they are not only used here. We use them in all Latin America, North America, Europe, Africa, and Oceania. It's not only Bosch, other players in this industry are also using Brazil as laboratory due to the fact that we may have up to 3 crops per year, making the development cycles faster when they are being driven here from Latin America.
Great, Thiago. It's very much interesting to see how this market is developing so fast. And to be honest, I have to say and confess that before I really understood what smart agriculture actually means, I used to look at these huge machines and could somehow imagine some level of machine control. But to be honest, I would never have thought that such a high level of precision could be a key focus in that environment or even be possible, to be honest. Yeah. So I know you explored already the concept of smart agriculture, but this can mean different things to different people. Yeah? So I understood you have a lot of different technologies applied to the smart agriculture environment. You mentioned some of these. Perhaps you could explore a little bit more about those technologies. And also, I want to hear from you. What are the key factors that are driving this rapid adoption in recent years? You mentioned that the population is growing so fast, we cannot actually have soil enough or space enough to produce according to this growth. What are the other key aspects that are driving this rapid adoption in these recent years?
Okay, so there's a constantly changing technology, and the technology which is now being available for the producers in combination with the new generations, like the sons of the old farmers are now assuming the responsibility for driving the head of the farming activity, and they are more open to the usage of technology. So the availability of the technology and the new generation which is coming ahead of the farming activity, they are more open to use these technologies. And also the need to increase productivity in farming area through technology, it's boosting the automation and the connectivity in the agricultural sector. So when we speak about what is smart agriculture, for me, the mission of our area states perfectly, which what is the mission from our side. So we enable the best use of inputs and higher crop yields to the customer in the entire cycle through automated, connected, and sustainable solutions. So that's our motto. That's how we develop the solution, and that's what we offer to the world.
Great. Great, Thiago. And could you comment a little bit about the technologies that are having the greatest impact on the agriculture efficiency today? And also how it's impacting the day-to-day operations. As you mentioned, we are now transforming, or the sons of the farmers are now leading the company. So it seems they have a more open mind for the technology. And of course, the operations are being changed day to day. Now, how this is changed and which technologies are involved on these chains?
So we have four main technologies which are changing the way we drive agriculture today. So the first one is automation, which consists in the usage of sensors and actuators. We have connectivity, computer vision, data analytics, and artificial intelligence. So when we speak about automation, some examples that I can give you. So process which in the past they were done manually, now they are being done using sensors and actuators. Here inside we have a good example, which is the intelligent planting solution we have. So basically, in the planters, we substitute mechanical gears by electronic dosers combined with GPS data. So by having these electronic dosers, we may vary the seed dosage according to the soil production potential, and we can avoid overlapping in planting area. We can make curve compensation, and we can also improve seeds distribution. At the end, this technology may bring 20% supply reduction and up to 13% productivity increase. When we speak about connectivity and data analytics, we have a digital platform that's able to access the machines remotely through internet and generate reports automatically based on the data that machine is acquiring. So these reports may help the farmer to monitor machine performance remotely, to perform remote diagnostics, and also to support solving problems with the machine without being at location. We can also make like remote configuration of the machine and provide remote software updates using these connectivity solutions. When we speak about computer vision and artificial intelligence, these technologies are widespread used in our system called Smart Spray. So basically, in this system, we install cameras along the boom of agricultural sprayers, and these cameras can recognize the difference between weeds and crop and apply herbicide only where the weed is identified. By using this technology, we can reduce the usage of the herbicides in average 60%, but it may range up to 90% depending on the level of infestation in the farm. So these are good examples where we can apply technology to increase the productivity, and this is changing the way farmers are managing their operation currently.
Great. Super interesting to see how it's growing so or developing so fast, and understood from what you said that we are moving towards to a even more connected and digital environment than ever. And talking about this increasing connection and connectivity and innovation and the digitalization, why cybersecurity is becoming so critical in this area in much more than just an IT concern, but it's really, really a critical topic.
Yeah, cybersecurity is now becoming even more critical for the business because machines now are not just like mechanical systems as they were in the past. Now, machines are defined systems, and they are collecting data and transmitting data, and their behavior is basically dependent on software. So the cybersecurity is now a key for the success of the operation. Like any failure that may occur with these machines currently may significant losses to the farm. So, for example, if you have a massive attack, cyber attack affecting several machines, this could bring disruptions to the farm operation or maybe even the food production chain. So that's why it's so important that these software-defined machines now are secure, and we should avoid cyber attacks to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And with now the development of the artificial intelligence, as you mentioned, it's being applied everywhere, especially in smart agriculture. We have also some potential attacks that are generated from AI. Some like, let's say, attacker can use AI to potentially attack the environment of the smart agriculture of some of the agriculture itself. So that's for sure something we need to care about. And coming to now to the CRA topic, now the Cyber Resilience Act is actually attracting attention in a global perspective. At a high level, Thiago, what is the objective of the CRA and why should the organizations involved in connected agriculture technologies, even those outside of Europe, which is the case of Brazil, be paying attention of?
Okay, so if we can summarize here in three main points, we can bring the first point, what we should pay attention is security by design. The second point is the management of vulnerability during the life cycle. And the third is the incident reporting. So when we speak about security by design, so every software and hardware that we design It needs to be secure since the beginning of the development, and we should follow all the state of the art techniques to assure that the concept is being developed in a secure way. So, for example, we need to use techniques like authentication mechanisms. We need to use encryption. We need to have secure booting to assure that the right software is going to run inside of the controllers. We need to have secure flashing to assure that we are only flashing the necessary software in the controllers. We need to block any kind of unused ports that could be used by attackers to invade our system. So we need to take care about several aspects in terms of security to be sure that we are avoiding cyber attacks to happen in our systems. So, for example, here at Bosch, we have a role called security manager, which is the responsible to assess all the products that we develop, compare them to the legislation and the state of the art, and drive the actions to the development teams so that they are following the standards to develop secure products. And in this point, we have a close partnership with ETAS. ETAS and Smart Agriculture are now working in partnerships that we have all the smart agriculture products being developed following the security by design concepts. A good example for that is that we are continuously updating our threat and risk analysis based on every new feature that we create in our system. We are executing penetration tests to try to simulate cyber attacks and derive countermeasures against it in our product development. An important topic that we need to mention here when we speak about software is the open source software check, because the CRA requires the software bill of materials to be available. And when you use open source solution in your product, the the manufacturer who's selling the product is at the end responsible for everything which is included in the product. So even if you are using a third-party software which is open source, at the end you are responsible for that, and you should check it and provide the bill of materials in the final product. When we speak about the vulnerability management during the life cycle, so we need to do it continuously. So we need to find vulnerabilities in our product and offer free security updates during all the lifetime of the product, or during the minimum of 5 years from production date. So in this case, we are investing in FOTA, which stands for flashing over the air, so that we are able to deploy security updates in our products without going to the machines, because as you know, in agriculture, sometimes the machines are located in remote areas and it's not that easy to go to all machines. So that's why we are investing in this flash over the air feature, that in case we need to offer software updates to correct security vulnerabilities, we can do them remotely. It's also an important topic for CRA, the incident reporting. So all companies need to report any kind of incidents that may have happened with their products. So non-security vulnerabilities that are being exploited by attackers, they need to be reported. And any severe events that happen, also like attacks or failures that are affecting confidentiality, integrity, availability of the system, they need to be reported to the European Cybersecurity Agency. And then at the end, if you are following these three topics, you are compliant to the CRA.
Great.
So it's also important to mention that it's not because, like, for example, we are in Brazil that we don't need to follow the CRA, because the CRA doesn't stand for the place where the product is developed, but it's relevant for any product which is being sold in the European Union. So if you sell a product to the European Union, you need to comply to CRA. So CRA is already in force since 2024, December 2024, when the transition started. And until December 2027, the full application of CRA will be in force, and it will be required for any product which wants to have the European certification stamp in the product. So until there, all the companies need to adapt their development process to be fully compliant to all CRA requirements.
Great. Yeah, Thiago, you touch in a very important point that even though we are not, or Brazil or other regions are not located in Europe, necessarily in Europe, we are talking about a global market which is connected to each other. So CRA comes to put some, let's say, some rules on the cybersecurity governance, but that's basically we need to always take care of the risk we have in case of a real attack. Yeah? So that's very important point you mentioned. Yeah? So uh, talking about the development of the smart agriculture, and this is happening very fast as we have just discussed it. How do you see the balance between the innovation, connectivity, and the cybersecurity development over the next 5 to 10 years? And what, from your point of view, the industry leaders should be prepared for today?
Well, I believe agriculture will keep evolving in terms of technology in the next 5 to 10 years. And the usage of automation, connectivity, sensors, computer vision, AI, all these technologies will keep more common, will keep increasing, and they will become more common in the products. And machines will collect even more data, and software will become a more representative part of the farm operation. So the importance of the cybersecurity in the next 5 to 10 years will continuously increase even more than it's already important today. So I see a boost in mostly in the connectivity area, because if you look some years ago, connectivity was a challenge, mostly here for Brazil. Connectivity was a challenge. So if you wanted to have like internet in rural areas, it was really hard to establish any kind of system which relied on connectivity. But nowadays, for example, this is not a blocking point anymore, because the cell phone network is being widespread here in Brazil, and also in satellite internet is becoming more common, like the Starlink satellite system that's and everywhere you can see people using it in farmland here now in Brazil. And this makes the technology of connectivity easier to be used by the farmers. So any system now is connected to the internet, and that becomes a higher risk for cybersecurity, because currently, if in the past, if an attacker wanted to invade a machine, they needed to go physically beside the machine to have the access to the information. But nowadays, since all machines are connected, they can have a massive attack over internet, and they could access more machines. So that's why we need to take care even more about the cybersecurity topics with the growing usage of the connectivity with the internet connected systems. If you have the possibility to have like a massive attack to the machines, this makes the damage to the whole food supply chain much bigger than you could have in the past without connectivity. So that's why all corporations should now invest in protecting the system against cyber attacks since the early stages of the development. And I also believe that it's important to invest in infrastructure to provide the over-the-air updates for reacting fast in correction in case we identify security vulnerabilities. All companies should also establish methodologies to regularly check their system against security, and paying attention to the failures being reported also by other companies, because the same failures may be replied and reproduced also in your products. And by having an attention and special attention about what other companies are reporting, you can also assess if your product are exposed to the same risk.
Yeah, super interesting. Yeah. So, as we are actually approaching the end of this podcast episode, I would highlight, based on our discussion, Thiago, that the future of agriculture will be increasingly driven by software, connectivity, and data, as you mentioned. Smart agriculture is creating new opportunities to improve productivity, sustainability, and operational efficiency, but it also brings new responsibilities. As connected technologies become more critical to agricultural operations, cybersecurity must be considered a fundamental enabler of innovation rather than only a buzzword. Organizations that successfully balance innovation, connectivity, and security will be best positioned to navigate evolving regulations and, most important, protect their operations to drive the next generation of intelligent farming solutions. Thiago, thank you for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. Do you have any final thought to share with us?
Yeah, I would also like to thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. And I believe in the next years we will need to take a special care about the cybersecurity topic because the world is changing fast, technology is changing fast, and we need to adapt to this new reality, which is having a product even more connected, even more software defined, and cybersecurity is a key and fundamental topic for the technology which we are developing in the next years.
Every day represents a new challenge now. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning to this episode of the Empowering Tomorrow's Automotive Software podcast. We hope you found our discussion insightful and valuable. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. And this is concluding our episode. Please check back soon for a new one. Bye bye.
Thank you for joining this episode of the Empowering Tomorrow's Automotive Software podcast. Please leave a comment or review with your feedback or what you'd like to hear in future episodes. To learn more about automotive embedded systems and ETAS's capabilities, visit our website at ETAS. That's ETAS.com.